All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. And of course, as promised, I am here to do my 2,000 subscriber live stream right now on my right over here. My guest is the real Geno, the Geno Reynolds from his channel. One of the biggest influences I had getting into this and staying with this. The journey to this.
And now you've passed me.
Yeah. And don't think that, like, as happy as I am about that, it really pisses me off that because I passed Darren Jakes too. And I owe so much to you and him for inspiring me to keep going and continue to keep going. And when I was feeling like giving up sometimes, I think we both had each other's backs when we both fall on hard times. And it's important that us small YouTubers stick together, because 2,000 is still small. It's small, yeah, but for me, I feel like I got 1 million subscribers.
Oh, and that's the way it would feel to me too. So I totally get how you feel about that. Look, man, you hit some strong patches. You found some shows that people wanted to see. And we're reviewing them episode by episode. Yep. I mean, if you find the right niche, you're gonna be able to grow. So I mean, you hit the right marks, and now you're at 2,000. So congratulations.
Yeah. It's ebbs and flows. It's plateaus. Like, here I am back. I was at a strong couple of months that got me over the top, and now I'm right back to where I was. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm getting back into making some of the stuff that I used to make and being weird about it again, and making fake ads, starting to make fake ads again, and trying to incorporate weirdness. Like, I'm telling you, man, buying this freaking neuralizer.
Wait, do I need my shades?
No, but it's such a fun thing to come up with, like, what am I going to do at the end? What am I going to say? I started putting in some clips, for like, this is what I want you to remember. At the end of the Stray Dogs comic book review, I threw in a Cujo attacking D. Wallace Stone at the very end of it. It said, "This is the memory I want you to have." Roar!
Yeah, I saw the shield one.
Oh yeah,
where you added whatever that scream was. I didn't watch Shield, so forgive me. I wasn't sure of the reference per se, but yeah, I saw that one, saw what you were doing, thought that was pretty funny.
I want to acknowledge the chat here. We've got Devra, we got Rena, because I've been saying it wrong forever. Bill is here. Sarah's here. I know that Paul popped in early to leave a comment saying he'll be watching as well. So, of course, welcome everybody as we talk about all this stuff. Also, a reminder, we just posted the video over here that, yes, this next month will be my birthday. I don't want to say it out loud. It's like how Colbert doesn't say Trump's name anymore, right? He says everything else. So I'm not going to say how old I am. You can do the math. It's 1975. We're going to be reviewing movies from 1975, which is going to be a lot of fun, because I've always wanted to review Jaws. I've always wanted to review One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, some real classic movies. I'm glad, those are two of my favorite movies, and Jaws is like the very first blockbuster film. Like, when they use that term, blockbuster film, it always goes back to Jaws, like how people say Citizen Kane is like the best movie of all time. It's like, that's the movie that is synonymous with that phrase. So we got a lot of stuff like that coming. I haven't seen Return of the Pink Panther since I was little. I'm like so stoked to watch some Peter Sellers. We got Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. Never seen it. I've only seen clips of Dog Day Afternoon, but there's also some other just really random stuff that I never saw, like the original Stepford Wives, or there's the original. There was a remake of it with Clive Owen, Robert De Niro. I can't remember what it's called now. Some kind of like gangster flick or revenge flick. I can't remember, like Death Race 2000s in there. You got Dolomite. You got you got so many interesting things in 1975 to talk about. Oh yeah, Rocky Horror, which we won't be talking about because I can't stand musicals.
Man, yeah,
Well,
that's why you should give it a chance, man. That's why
I've seen it.
Rocky Horror
actually,
is weird, but man, it's enjoyable. I gotta say, Rocky Horror is enjoyable.
I have a negative connotation with that movie as well. It has to do with an ex-girlfriend. And
the personal connection.
Yeah, and so every time I think of that movie, I think of her, and I go,
I get that.
But
there's some movies I can't go back and watch either for personal reasons. I mean, say the kids want to watch it or something. That's one thing. Like if it's a kids movie, but there's some just like, yeah, I'd rather not. So I get that.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a good one. I just don't know how to review it because it's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's nonsense. It's shenanigans through the whole thing. And like, it's funny and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And I don't really know what to say. It's kind of like walking in. It's like a bunch of skits that are all just set in this one kind of through line of medieval times. It's amazing. There's my review of it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a classic. And it's basically one long, various skits that are insanely ingenious. And those guys are brilliant. I don't really have anything else to say, but I have a lot to say about like Jaws. I have a lot to say about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Paul is here. He joins the chat now. Some more stuff that we're trying to get to do. Like I said earlier, we did the Stray Dogs book. I want to get back into more comics. There is some really cool stuff in that front. I might be able to get at least one interview with one of the creators for sure. I've already been having little conversations with both of the people involved in Stray Dogs, one more than the other, but I'm gonna push a little harder now that I've got one bite on the line. I'm gonna see if I can get the other one too, because that book, Stray Dogs, is one of the best books I can say it's one of the best comic books I've ever read, hands down. Like easy. Like it's Hitchcock with dogs, and Disney animation, like Disney looking dogs with Hitchcock murder mystery. I can't believe how good that book was.
Yeah.
But remember, this is an Ask Me Anything as well. So even though I know all of you pretty well in the chat, it doesn't mean you can't hit me with some questions or stuff you want to talk about. Like I know Loki, their new episode of that was yesterday. And no, that's today. That's today. I watched it so early that it felt like yesterday.
Yeah. I've been watching it before my work starts. So when I go into work at 3 a.m, that's like when I get everything ready, which only doesn't take very long. It's 3:30 in the morning. It's Loki time, or whatever show's on at the time. I did that for Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision as well, and I do it for Bad Batch as well on Fridays. But so yeah, watching it early does feel like you've watched it the day before. So I get the mentality there.
Yeah, Puppy Breath is in the chat. Yes, Hitchcock with Dogs. I'm telling you, pick up the trade or read it online. It's amazing. It's taut. It is so taut. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'm absolutely with you on the early morning Loki Bad Batch. I do both of those. Like first thing Friday morning when I wake up, it's Bad Batch. And first thing Wednesday morning early before I go donate plasma, I watch Loki. And I thought episode 4, well, it was better than 3. It definitely hit a few things that we were talking about, Bill. I had said that I figured that the timekeepers there was gonna be some major like shenanigans with that, but I think a lot of people thought that. I did not think it was gonna just be that, but I know there's more to it. We're gonna have to wait until next week to find out still. That the one real major complaint I had is what a lot of shows do is that they really get you on the hook and then they end it. And there was at least one more scene that needed to happen in there, and it was all basically who's Mobius's buddy really working with. And then they did answer with that first post-credit scene that when they hit somebody with those little tasers, or not tasers, but like vaporizers.
The pruners.
Yeah, the pruners. People go somewhere. We don't know where. Obviously, Mobius is probably still fine too, and he's probably where this is. But you were right about. I mean, a lot of people were talking about a whole bunch of Loki variants running around. I think we're going to see that. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with all that. I thought it was really interesting that the B-15 hunter was the one who was coming around, was the one that kind of changed things, the one who really wanted to stick it to Loki. After Sylvie touched her, though, she saw those memories of herself. And I like that they didn't have to show it. Like, they didn't just create a whole new scene of stuff of that character's backstory. We know that what she's going through, we can imagine what she's feeling. And coming back and then having that mystery of, is she turned or is she not turned? Is she going to fight the TVA or not? But the next 2 episodes will be insane. Now, as far as the moment in the script that Tom Hiddleston said freaked him out, oh my God, I can't believe it went there. If it was the whole Sylvie Loki love thyself moment, literally love thyself, that's whatever. Is it weird? Sure, but I mean, I've seen a lot weirder things, and him falling in love with a female version of himself isn't that crazy. Seeing an alligator Loki, that's weirder than him falling in love with himself. I expect him to fall in love with himself. He's the kind of guy who would look in the mirror and be like, you're one damn good looking man.
Yeah.
I also felt like Mobius, what happened to Mobius, I could feel it coming the entire episode.
Yeah.
He
definitely.
was just asking all the right questions, and she was pausing at all the right times to make you go, when is she going to stick it to him?
Yeah.
Them being robots, though, like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, I kind of feel like that was disappointing.
Well, what's crazy about that was the second they walked in that room, I'm like, man, them things look fake, right? Oh, so them being fake actually worked for me, because it's because I was like, okay, do they really have this bad of animation for these things? And then, of course, they turn out to be robots. So it's like, okay, I'll give them that. I really do. And really, the fact that they got into that room in episode 4, I thought it was a little early in the series, that there had to have been something wrong. So, them being fake actually worked for me. It was just kind of funny, because the way that the one with the green one that had kind of the mustache looking thing, the way his mouth was moving, I'm just like, that's just really crappy animation. And then they turn out to be fake, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it was supposed to be crappy animation. So that one worked for me. I like that. Of course, my favorite part, and it was funny, a buddy of mine didn't stay for the mid-credits scene. So he was all like, oh my God, I can't believe they killed Loki, right? And then I'm like, did you watch through the credits? My favorite part is Richard E. Grant showing up as like Jack Kirby, like Loki. Yeah, I love Richard E. Grant. Even in movies that aren't good, I love him in. So seeing him show up, I'm like, yes. Especially as disappointing as what they gave him to do in Star Wars was, having him do a Marvel thing and do something as cool as Jack Kirby Loki works for me a lot. So I was happy to see him pop up. I'm really curious. I'm really just hoping they do something with him, though. Yeah. I really do hope they do something with these variants, other than they're just there for an episode or two. Because I'm hearing they might do more seasons of this. I don't think it's been confirmed or anything. So who knows? I honestly would rather see one good season and then them do other stories, which they're planning on doing, of course, with other characters. But I will say I am digging this series so far. I do like I like where it's going. I'm hoping I feel that way in the end. I don't want to be disappointed by this one, because I'm liking what they're doing so far.
Yeah, I like what they're doing so far. I still feel like it's really great character work done in a very unique way. Very, like very not what I expected. But I still feel like it's so much set up for bigger projects to fill in, like almost like what Stuckman said about Black Widow today, that it's just kind of like a holding place for other things that are coming up later. But that does not take away from my enjoyment of the episode. I think I'm thinking all about every aspect of it and trying not to diss it. But I felt that way about WandaVision. I felt that way about Winter Soldier. It's a lot of world building, but great character development.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the clip of what they did in WandaVision? I guess they added a scene to that end, or a bit to that end. Apparently, they added like the form of Doctor Strange flying, like coming to the cabin or whatever. They never show him, I guess. You can find the clip online. I haven't looked. They said they added it to the Disney Plus episode, and someone had like filmed like their screen with it happening. It looks like more like an outline. You can't even really tell it's him. It's like more of a shadow than anything, but you can tell it's got to be Doctor Strange.
Could even be his astral projection.
Right. I mean, you can't really see it that well because it was a blurry screen of someone taking a picture of a screen, but apparently it's on there now. I just haven't looked. But of course they apparently cut him out anyway, of the original ending, which honestly, I think if he would have showed up, people would have liked it even more, saying, hey, I can help you with that. It would have been cool, I think, but I don't know. I don't know why they cut it out, but
something like it's time to talk,
right.
Just a simple knock on the door.
Yeah. You finally figured it out. Let's talk, you know, like he knew something already, he knew who she was already and he just didn't want to say nothing to her. He wanted her to discover it herself or something, something like that. Maybe we'll get that in the movie. I don't know. But because of course she's going to be a big part of his movie. So we'll see what they do there. But yeah, apparently they added this, so you'll have to look that up. I haven't looked on Disney Plus itself. I've heard it's there, but I haven't looked for it myself. Like I said, it's only like 3 or 4 seconds of this form on, like, I can't remember if it was mountains or whatever, trees, and you can just kind of see this form flying along. Then again, I guess it could have been Vision too. That would be another guess. It could have been like him, like dissolved halfway or whatever. I don't know. I didn't look at it so close that I could really tell what it was. I would have thought it was Doctor Strange, but we'll see.
It reminds me of what they did at the end of X2 with the lake, and you see the Phoenix under the water kind of thing, where it's like, woo.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they disappointed us.
Oh, sure. When you said that, though, I just thought lake, something hovering, something coming. That was supposed to be the big thing. They blew it in that, but I think they're going to nail it here. But like Bill Casey saying, it's easy to get lost in the future, when we don't focus on the present. And it's like, I love everything we're getting. What I have to do is check my comic book nerd at the door, because I mean, like I always say, like I'm never far away from I got a pile of comic books right here, just like they're just right here, and I read so much that it's hard to separate the two, like what I think should be and what they will actually do, and so I get a little disappointed when they go in weird directions that I know they want to subvert expectations, but sometimes I just want what's on the page.
Yeah. Well, being that they take a lot of inspiration from the Ultimates comics.
Yes.
You probably don't want them taking everything from the page, because Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's relationship would be way different.
I think it's time to put that, I felt like the Ultimates was Whedon's thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the further away they get from Joss Whedon's vision of the, because it ended after Ultron, right? So I feel like they need to start looking in other places besides the Ultimate Universe, because I honestly didn't really like the Ultimate Universe very much. I got very little use for it. Not when you have like so many great runs, focusing on Bendis's stuff. Just I don't know, for so long. It's time to look at the weird stuff. I think with the cosmic stuff, especially since it looks like they're really leaning hard into the multiverse. I think all of Phase 4 is practically multiverse stuff in some way or another, which I like Darren Jakes was saying, and I agree. I hope it's leading to Secret War, which would be an incredible way to join all sorts of stories that would be in other universes. Now, one of the coolest things about Secret War, though, and not the original 80s one, but the Jonathan Hickman one, is that got us Miles Morales from one of those universes. So we could get Miles Morales in the MCU through Secret War if they want to take it like that, where they show like even more meta is pull him literally from Into the Spider-Verse into reality, from an animated character to a living, breathing character.
I was making that joke whenever I saw Venom, and then they showed the preview for Into the Spider-Verse. I'm just like, are we, because it said in another universe or whatever, however it titled it, whenever it was showing the 10-minute preview or whatever they showed at the end of Venom. I'm like, are you telling me that we're merging these two universes? Because that'd be cool if Venom somehow went into the Spider-Verse, from the movies. So who knows what they're going to do. Well, that being said, in the first Spider-Man movie, the Marvel one, they said, they talked about the existence of Miles Morales. So at least, if they don't take him from an alternate universe, he's in the MCU whenever Donald Glover's character, talked about his nephew. So, I mean, we at least know Miles is there. And eventually they're going to introduce Miles Morales. I mean, if anything great came out of the Ultimates universe is Miles Morales. Everyone loves that character. I mean, a lot of people were mad when they killed off Peter Parker or whatever they did with him in the Ultimate universe. I think they killed him off, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I think so.
It's been so long since I've read it. I can't remember all of it, but then Miles takes over, and that's how he became like the Ultimate Spider-Man. And a lot of people were mad about that at first, and they realized, oh, wow, he's actually a good character. Let's keep following him. And then now look, he's got an Academy Award-winning movie, so that's definitely a character I want to see introduced live action. If we get anything from the Ultimate universe from now on, it's got to be him, and everyone's going to want to see it, especially, I mean, that now that we're getting another Into the Spider-Verse movie with more Spider-Man, Lord knows what Spider-Man we're getting in that. Hopefully, I want to see the 90s cartoon one. I know they're saying it's not going to happen, but it's going to happen. I'm guessing that right now. We're going to get like 90s Spider-Man, the animated version, things like that. Hopefully. But I'm looking forward to what the MCU is going to have. But yeah, you're definitely right. They need to stray away from the Ultimates universe a little more and more and start introducing other things, because there's so many other cool things that Marvel's done that is better than the Ultimates universe. Fine, you want to give me Ultimate Nick Fury because Sam Jackson wanted to play him, fine. That's cool with me. I mean, we don't need David Hasselhoff showing up again as Nick Fury. That being said, I got a feeling we're going to see that Nick Fury, and it's going to be David Hasselhoff. I just have this hunch that they're gonna deep dive into some of these old movies and stuff. I mean, who knows what we're gonna get? It would be funny to see that, though. I think.
I do agree that we need to see. I think we're gonna see original Nick Fury. I hope it's not Hasselhoff. And like as a cameo, as a joke,
definitely just a cameo.
I would say absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see him get another movie or something, but a cameo would be awesome.
Yeah, a cameo would be awesome. I would love to see what they do with a multiverse Nick Fury coming out of nowhere with the eye patch and everything. And who could, who would be great for that? And I know it's just, again, we can speculate, but Hugh Jackman would be great.
I don't know if people are going to like that or not, though.
Because he's got that grizzled look. He could give him that, he's good with the grizzled look. He's a very handsome man.
Oh, I'm not saying he couldn't pull it off, but if he doesn't show up as anybody else, see, and that's a debate that is going to rage on with me forever until it actually happens or doesn't happen. Him coming back. Now, look, if Logan never would have happened, I've been like, bring him back, 100%, bring him back. Even if it is Old Man Logan, right? He just came in as Old Man Logan. But being that we got Logan, I don't know if I want to see it again. Now, it was fun seeing him show up in like Deadpool 2, but that really wasn't him. That was old footage from another movie. That made sense to me. But do I want to see him do anything new? I struggle, man. I yo-yo back and forth with that, because some days I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool, but man, Logan exists, so it's just hard to know if I want it or not. I just don't know.
Okay, then let me bounce off another actor that would be good as Nick Fury, Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, I'd be 100% behind that.
I want to recognize Lulu Bad Wolf in the chat. Thanks for joining us with your Doctor Strange. It was supposed to be in WandaVision, but because of COVID, it was changed.
Might have been.
I
had heard they had filmed it, but I mean, I'm not some Hollywood insider, so you just never know who to believe anymore, because you have sites like We Got This Covered out there that say we've got sources, and they were sources that said this and this. So it must be right, guys? Yeah. Just because they said it.
The sources thing. I remember that was so big on your channel. You used to talk about the sources. That is such a pain in the ass. People that just want to have a story, so they make one up and say sources. That's all you have to say.
Deep down, though I never admitted it publicly, I will now. That segment was definitely taking shots, and We Got This Covered, because I can't stand them.
Okay. Wait. We've got somebody who's trying to join us. Wow, this seems like it's me when I was trying to get on to WandaVision back when I lost internet. And I couldn't get any kind of signal to come through, even on my phone. But we'll see. We might have another special guest joining us here in a second. Paul, you feel I need to talk more about Invincible, both comic and the cartoon? Well, I was going to. And then again, the internet devastation that I've had in the end of February all the way through April kind of ruined that. Invincible season 2, as long as there is internet, I will be covering every episode. I just didn't feel like making a ton of episodes really fast and getting I was already feeling really backed up and pressured to get it done and get it started. That with The Handmaid's Tale coming out. It was going to be too much. I wanted to go back and finish reviewing the Walking Dead episodes I missed, because that Negan episode I would have loved talking about that on the channel. I think I talked a little bit about it on Darren Jakes' channel. Speaking of, we brought it up a second ago. Well, I also wanted to say Richard E. Grant. I loved him when how they used him in Logan. He was in it briefly, but I just wanted to touch on that. But Venom 2. Who's excited about that? Because I feel like it's not really being talked about, and it's coming out in a few months.
I am somewhat excited about it because, okay, when I watch Venom, when I watch a movie the first time, I have to watch it with critic glasses on, right? So I have to be overly critical. Oh my, it's Batman.
Hi, hey Rob, just wanted to jump in and wish you congratulations on your 2,000 subscribers, man. It's a really good job there. How you doing, Geno?
It's like if Clancy Brown played Batman.
Well, we're doing a Dark Knight Returns sort of kind of feel here. We're rebooting our reboot. I think it's part of the plan that we've got going on. So, I just feel like I want to take a chance, jump down here, just
the multiverse Batman is here.
So it's
how's it going there, Batman?
It's going well there, Rob. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for stopping in and congratulating me on the 2,000 subscribers again. Big, these two guys. Again, I don't want to embarrass them, but such inspirations to me and this channel. And I like to talk about how I always would sit on my breaks outside of work and watch their videos and just try to, figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. Not I was making content, but I wasn't I was just trying to I remember talking to people at work, just trying to get to 50 subscribers and just really trying to talk to people online was hard, and just slowly trying to reach out to people in the small YouTube community. And I happened to meet these two awesome guys who, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here having this video right now. I wouldn't. I know it. As much as I like to think that, I put in all the work and everything. Yeah, I made all the videos. I sat in front of the camera and I fought my anxiety and all that. But there were times when I wanted to just stop. And, it was because of you guys and the rest of the community. That's why it's so important to embrace the community that we have, that we're all, us small YouTubers, we're in this together. And I've said this to people at cons that have YouTube channels, and they look at me like I'm an idiot. Like they don't get it because they've gone too beyond it. That they're so big that they don't understand that anymore, it feels like, in some ways. And I try to always answer my comments, because you guys, Darren, you always answered my comments. And it's like, if you don't reach out to the people that are supporting you, then what are you doing this for? Because I don't do this for money. I don't think any of us do this for money. We do this because we love talking about it. I know Batman does it because he wants justice, but
when he's already got the money, right?
That's right. That's right.
Already got
you know
the
what
money.
this means, Rob? This means this is the people of YouTube have shown you that they will support a small YouTuber if you really believe.
Wait a second. Oh my God.
He's digging out a comic book, isn't
That's
he?
right. We blow them out. Oh, that's all right, Rob. The emotion, let the emotion go there, Rob. It's understandable, I know why you're feeling this way, It's because I'm Batman.
I was trying to find something, but it's I was gonna throw on my Bane helmet.
No, I just want to let you guys get back. I wanted to wish you the happy 2000. I think there's somebody else keeps knocking, says they want to jump on, so we're gonna jump out of here, and someone else will be back here. I think probably in a minute here. But I want to wish you a happy 2000 there.
Thanks, Bats.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'll see you shortly. Okay, let's see. How do I?
Okay, Bats.
Look, I have Alfred do all this technical stuff. Okay, I don't.
And it worked.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That was awesome.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Deborah,
Deborah, I forgot about the Bane. I keep meaning to get the bald cap for the Bane thing, but I have not yet done that. I did start using that Venom mask though for my thumbnail for Stray Dogs. I put on. I kind of did an amalgamation of all comic book characters. So I got my Doctor Strange suit with my Eye of Agamotto, which.
Yeah, I've seen you with that.
I need to put my Eye of Agamotto on more often. This is like nerd. This is like gold chains for nerds. It's like, oh yeah, kiss myself. And then I put on the Wolverine claws and the Venom mask, just to be the ultimate.
You got some use out of the Venom mask.
Yeah, man, I wear that thing. Are you kidding me? People, you think that's a joke? I got that Boba Fett helmet not just to have it as a centerpiece in my room. I put on that Boba Fett helmet sometimes. Okay, I like to use the little red thing with the targeting system inside. Okay, I do. It's you don't buy it it's like keeping that thing in a box or something.
Yeah.
Some of my Funkos I don't want to take out. But
yeah, I get that.
I do have the Joel that you got me over here, sitting on top, guarding my PS5. Underneath is Ratchet and Clank. I just got Ratchet and Clank. That was awesome. Speaking of the PS5, that's another big thing of this last year. We have another special guest. Uh-oh. Here we go. I should probably get prepared myself. All right, so
hey there, Rob.
Apparently the Mandalorian is here, everybody.
So this is the way that this is going to go. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. I let Grogu play with my controller here, so I'm not sure I sound as tough as I normally do. Sounds a little strange to me in here, but I wanted to, wish you a happy 2000 there, Rob. You've reached.
I appreciate that, Mando. I should, when we talk about you coming up in the fall, hopefully, maybe you can stop in and say hi over on Dee's channel. maybe you can meet Boba Fett.
Yeah. You found Boba Fett?
Yep.
He still owes me $20, that bastard. Oh, I will hunt him down. We'll prove who's the better bounty hunter here. I want my bounty from Boba. Boba bounty is what I'm looking for.
I think he went to find him.
That's all right. We'll face off.
In a cold day in hell.
All right, I just want that $20, okay? You lost fair and square. I told you Grogu was better.
It's at the bottom of the Sarlacc pit.
Oh, that's stinky. No, we don't take credits from bras, from underwear, or from Sarlacc pits. Okay, I don't want any cash that's pulled out of anyone's Sarlacc pit. That's just the rule.
Well, it's going to take me a while to figure out what I get for credits, and then I'll get it to you as soon as I can. I don't know what. Do you have PayPal?
Yeah, you could Venmo. Do that PayPal.
One of those it's just a cup of coffee kind of things. What is that? Could you put some in there, like a tip jar?
The bounties are being paid by Cash App these days.
Well, I don't think I would trust PayPal in this universe of scum and villainy.
You're kidding. PayPal is the king of scum and villainy. Really. That's they've got it all. They got it all locked up. It's going to be PayPal.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll write you a check.
That's excellent. Thanks so much. I appreciate
it. Don't cash it for a couple of parsecs.
All right. Well, they're gonna lose this. They got one other guy here that just keeps being the butt here. So I'm gonna get out. We're gonna go. I
gotta go find if I got my check still. Otherwise, I'll Venmo you.
All right. Well, I'll see you, Geno. You take it easy, man. You tell Rob congratulations.
All right.
I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Oh my gosh! I'm curious who the next
this is a fun
stars
time we're having here on the channel. We got a Mando in the back. We have a Mando in the back. We got the droid from Rogue One over there.
Yeah. Well, the only character I can provide is there. Congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. Yay! That's been sitting over there since I can't even remember what review it was. I think it was for that Muppet Show, the first episode of that new Muppet Show they did on Disney Plus. Boy, that wasn't a popular review because it wasn't a very good show. The first episode anyway.
Yeah.
That's been sitting over there since that. And that was last year sometime, I think.
That show, I thought that the one that they did that was like The Office was way better than what they just put out.
Yeah, I never got to see The Office one because I don't have regular cable or anything, so I didn't have ABC or even Hulu at the time. But yeah, I watched the first episode. I heard that the other show got a little better. Never got a chance to watch it. But the first episode, man, I tore it apart, and man, people were mad. How dare you crap on the Muppets? It's like, I'm only upset because I know they're better than this. That's what people don't understand. It's the same as whenever I reviewed the second Muppet movie, The Muppets Most Wanted or whatever.
Yeah.
The first Muppets movie was amazing, right? And I loved it. And then Muppets Most Wanted felt like one of those made for ABC TV movies with just bigger stars in it. And that's why I didn't like it. And people are just like, how dare you?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the Muppets are this niche thing, right?
Yeah.
Yet the crowd that follows the Muppets, man, are brutal if you go after them.
And that's just it. I only I only critique them because I know they're better than what they were giving them to do. The Muppets can be better, and they're mishandling them big time. Disney hasn't had the best track record. I mean, yeah, they had that first Muppet movie, but a lot of the other stuff they've done with them just has not worked. And I just want to see them do better. But apparently, it's like some things. It's like if you look at, like, say, Christopher Nolan fans, he can do no wrong, and it's like, yes, they can, and you want to see them do better. So I wanted to address some of these comments because I'm going to be leaving here in a bit. So I just figured I'd answer a couple of the questions because some of them I can answer for you real quick. The conventions, they asked, Paul asked, are we doing any cons this year? I guess you want me to officially announce it. We haven't really officially announced it. Maybe we'll put more information out later. In Champaign, Illinois, or technically I think it's Urbana. I think it's right on the edge. Rob and I are going to be doing the Dark History and Horror Con on October 23rd this year. We were supposed to do it last year. We were also supposed to do one earlier this year called Revenant Con, but it got canceled. It's only a one-day convention at the I Hotel in Champaign, Illinois, October 23rd this year. We have a one-day table there. We're sharing a table. So that's our official con announcement. Hopefully, things don't start to get worse again and, they cancel this again. But, and it was supposed to be a 2-day con, but they said they didn't want to pay for the entire day at the hotel for, 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever the first day was. So it's just a one-day Saturday con, and it's all day. So, I'm hoping we have a good time doing that. I've only ever done one other convention. It was just this little one. It was fun. It was called RaiderCon. It was in Moweaqua, Illinois, and it was at a high school. It was just this fan of cons that he just wanted to pull off a local con, and I had a table there, so it was fun. But this is probably one of the first, I wouldn't say bigger cons because it's not like Comic-Con or something like that, but it's still a growing con, but it's definitely going to have a decent crowd there, I think. So it is a little nerve-wracking, but I'll be there with Rob, so that'll help, and I think we're going to have a good time. So yeah, October 23rd at the I Hotel in Champaign, Illinois. It's a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. The only other question I was going to, and then I'll give it to you after that because you'll be able to answer it too. Where was Rena asked, what was your first comic book? Mine was Punisher War Journal #8, guest starring Black Widow, and that was the gray suit, redheaded Black Widow. And the cover really, it was like this big spider. And I wish I could pull it up. I wouldn't doubt if Rob went and grabbed it. But it was Punisher War Journal #8. It was a big Black Widow spider fighting the Punisher on a web, and the story was called Dreamtime with the Black Widow, and it was basically Punisher and Black Widow fighting robots. And I still have it to this day. It's in really terrible shape. But I also bought another copy of it to have a better shaped copy of it. But yeah, that was my first comic, and I still have it. And then my next two were a couple of Punisher comic books that they had at the local store. One was called Star Spangled Burner. It was about a guy that was burning flags. And then the other one was about someone who was someone was attacking cab drivers, and the Punisher was posing as a cab driver trying to figure out who it was. So that was actually kind of a sad story, and I still have all those. So yeah, those are my first comic books. What was your first comic book, Rob?
I have them. It would take me 1 second to grab them, but just give me 1 second.
Excuse me.
Well, I don't have the other. It take them too long to get the other one, but there was a Fantastic Four called Nuke Busters. It was a Simonson issue, but the other first one was and I did a video about it. Was the Amazing Spider-Man number 327? It was Eric Larson's first book on Amazing Spider-Man when Spidey had the cosmic powers and he was fighting Magneto. And walking into the comic book shop for the first time. I look at this cover and I go, Spider-Man and Magneto? What is going on in this book? I had to pick it up. Same as like I saw the Fantastic Four and like on the cover of that issue, and they were all carrying these giant guns. And I was like, oh, I got to find out what the Fantastic Four are going to do with those giant guns. So those were the first two, and I had to repurchase those in the last few years. And fortunately, in the late 80s and 90s, with speculators buying everything, they decreased the value of a lot of these books. So they're really easy to get your hands on, a lot of those books. But those were my two first ones that I ever read. I did, if you check out my playlist of Smirking Gun Reviews comics, I think there's a video on there of me talking about those. Bill says his first comic book was Fatal Attractions. Wow. That's nice. That's like that's 90s X-Men, I think.
Yeah, that would have been the 90s X-Men time, because I had a bunch of those too. That's when I really, because when the cartoon came out, I started picking up anything X-Men, and I, of course, not being a comics guy at the time, or at least a buyer of comic books, I didn't know there was 57 different versions of the X-Men. I'm expecting the cartoon and, in comic form, and they had that too. But and I had some of those, but then it's like, wait, why is this story not this story, but they're one number apart? Never made any sense to me. And one other question I want to answer before I go. Paul asked, am I bringing back Geno's Bad at Games eventually? Right now I'm just staying busy. Geno's Bad at Games will eventually come back. I don't know when or what I'm going to play, but I've got so many games I bought and haven't played. I'm sure I've got a surplus. But Rob, anyway, congratulations, buddy. I'm so glad that you made it here, and and I want to see you keep going, man. Just keep it up and keep going. I'm very happy for you, buddy. And see, now I have to give up the stage because Clancy Brown showed up, and I know he's a bigger guest than I am, so I'm gonna take off. But anyway, I'm glad you could make it, and Rob, congratulations, buddy, and just keep it up. All right, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. We gotta do some more videos together pretty soon.
Oh, we'll try to work something out. Right now, it's just I'm just plugging away. I think I've got two or 3 weeks worth of videos ready of older stuff. I mean, of course, I can't review new stuff because it ain't out yet. But that being said, I do have an advanced review of the Tomorrow War coming out tomorrow. So
really,
yeah, I got my hands on the screener yesterday. So I got to watch it. I can't talk about it legally, otherwise they'll take away my permission and they will sue me. And I have seen people get sued from St. Louis for talking about stuff early, because that's where I get a lot of my stuff from, is a group out of St. Louis, and I've seen people get in trouble. So I'm not going to be an idiot and get in trouble. So, but anyway, right. Yeah, that's coming out tomorrow, and lots more to come on my channel. Rob, again, congratulations. Best of luck in the future. And Clancy Brown, it was nice to meet you, buddy.
It's good.
Anyway.
Good seeing you again, Gene. There, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
see you later,
anybody
guys.
watching this in the archives, go to Geno's channel at The Real Geno and subscribe to his channel. Damn it.
Bye, guys.
So yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Sorry, man.
Well,
There's
the
some
real
weird
Darren
stuff
Biggs,
going
please
on
stand
here. My entry thing was all mistyped, and I don't know what's going on in here. And everything was all half turned over. I've got this new neighbor. He's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I'm Batman, and he just runs off. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but mostly he's a good guy.
Well, we were speaking of like all the like Paul's talking about his first comic was Dr. Doom. I do have one of my old, like this was Jack Kirby. This is Jack Kirby Stanley.
Nice.
Number 86 with Doom on the. I only have 3 Kirbys. This is one of 3. We got the. I also got. Where are you? Right here in this pile. Oh yeah, number 155. This is another Kirby.
Nice.
Mighty Thor, number 155. And again, the Uncanny X-Men one from John Byrne, the first appearance of Shadow King for Legion fans. This is one of the best drawn books I've ever read from this era. It is so unbelievable. This is the first appearance of Amul Farouk. It's the backstory of how Professor X found Storm. It's the first astral projection fight. The art inside by John Byrne is just unbelievable. And again, that's why I say like they need to pull from the old stuff because it's brilliant. You've got Chris Claremont writing these books. You've got Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and, Simonson and all these guys from back in the day. And, focusing on Bendis's Ultimates run for so long, it's just been kind of like, why?
Well, I think it was the easy intro for people. It was the more familiar right now. And I think, and also when they're setting up and being sure, like, what can the audience handle? It's an easier entry before you go full Kirby.
Yeah.
But I think that that's actually what they've been given permission to do as they've gotten a little stranger. I think the audience has responded to the bigger, crazy stuff. I mean, Marvel has perfected special effects at this point. I mean, there's like nothing they can't do on screen.
Yeah. So
if you could take that and bring it big and go full crazy, I mean, I know there's an expectation for the next Doctor Strange movie, and I think rightfully so. And I would hope that they are feeling that pressure a little bit, in a joyful way, to be like, yes, let's go completely nuts.
I think cosmically they have so many ways to go nuts, which is one of the great things about where they've gone. And I feel like now that the audience has embraced the cosmic side of the universe,
right?
It's anything goes now. You can introduce anything you want. The weirder, the better. I mean, Guardians had Ego.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get, again, the talking raccoon and the talking tree, and we're crying when the tree dies by the end of it, and we're begging for more raccoon and one-armed Russian assassin team up. How much more of a permission as a studio do you need to go, just go completely crazy? And I think the Disney shows now are really showing, where they can go. And even that's like just touching the surface as far as I'm concerned.
To answer Daniel Vasquez in the comments, thoughts on Sing 2 trailer. Haven't seen Sing 1. Haven't seen the trailer for Sing 2. Not really. And since it's got the word sing in the title, and most people know how I feel about singing in movies, for the most part, I am afraid I don't think I'll be watching it, unfortunately. Maybe it'll pass down my, somehow accidentally end up in my field of vision at one point in my life.
Sure.
But, it's just not for me. But I didn't even know there was a Sing 2 until you said that. But Deborah talking about Boss Baby 2. Wow. Okay. But okay. I like what you like. Like what you like. That's all I'm gonna say. I love you, Deborah. But don't expect us to be doing a watch party for Boss Baby 2.
I haven't even seen Boss Baby 1.
Yeah, I haven't seen Boss Baby 1 either. I like Alec Baldwin as a baby, but in real life. I could see him be that on like TMZ, where he's yelling at his daughter or whatever. Sure. Dan the Wiz entering the chat. Agents of S.W.O.R.D. with some of the AOS cast, preferably. Yes. Now we just have to get Chloe Bennett off the incredibly strange production of the Powerpuff Girls. Oh, yeah.
That may not be a problem. They may be, apparently they're reshooting the whole pilot. Yeah. So she should be doing better stuff than CW. Yep. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Please.
Look, Dove Cameron, who was in season 5, fine. I can see her on a CW show. But Chloe Bennett should be getting offers from Marvel to be Quake. And this isn't just because the unending argument of S.H.I.E.L.D. being in the canon. It's just because she's an incredible character. You have her. It's like when you have an IP that you don't, that you sit on, right? Like certain places have James Bond. Some like Fox has the X-Files, like things that they sit on forever that they'll never get rid of, even though now Fox is technically Disney. So the Disney could be making the X-Files. Wow, I just blew my own mind just then.
I'm not really sure how to take that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that would it would be on Hulu probably.
Yeah.
If they rebooted the X-Files. I don't want to go down the X-Files rabbit hole because I won't be able to pull myself out.
Yeah.
But no, that's I understand. You thought that Powerpuff Girls was a joke. No, it's not a joke. I wish it was a joke. Because I could do one of my reviews of the future right now. It sucks. Yeah. I went to the future. I came back. I'm telling you that it sucks.
The pilot was shot. The execs looked at it and they went, "We need to redo this. We don't like how this is translating."
This is coming from the CW.
Yeah.
Who make anything.
So, I understand. You can't, look, Riverdale, you could sort of get away with because Archie's got a long history, and years ago they started Archie and Zombies and Archie and Darkness, and they've played with it. So kind of like, I don't know, like a Scooby-Doo, you could do a similar type of reboot and make it edgy, and I think the characters could meld and do with it. Some things don't translate, and I don't see how a children's cartoon gets turned into a sexy young adult CW weekly series.
I can tell you right now what's going to happen in the big trailer whenever they decide to release it. It's going to be what happens when things aren't so sweet, sugar and spice and everything nice. It's going to incorporate that in some way where it's going to be because they're a little too old, like they're too old to just be sugar, spice, and everything nice. Now,
now one's in love with Mojo Jojo.
Oh yeah.
They've all split. There was a bad thing that happened when they were 13. It was a high school embarrassment. Sorry, we'll go a little older. High school embarrassment thing. So they've all split, and now they'll have to be reunited when their scientist father is exploded.
He's in jail for doing something.
There you go.
He's in jail for something like destroying the town or something, being blamed. And it's really Mojo Jojo, who was once a monkey, but will now be transformed into some Channing Tatum, D-list lookalike.
Because it's CW, when we really don't want to have those kind of cross vibes going on that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just made the show right there. We just described.
There you go. Congratulations. All right. So now we can get Chloe Bennett back over to Marvel. They've used her for a voice of Quake in their cartoon animated series. She has been sort of adopted into that role. Just make the next step. They need better representation in film anyway. So,
yeah. And S.W.O.R.D. would be a great procedural-esque S.H.I.E.L.D. type show.
Mm-hmm.
You get what the remnants of what you have. You can throw Nick Fury in there because Disney Plus has the Disney money.
Right.
You don't have to. He doesn't have to be there all the time, but you could afford to have him around more. You could probably get Kobe Smulders out of, for Maria Hill back, because she's, after, I don't know if Stumptown's ever coming back. I hope it doesn't. Sorry, I watched it. It's not good.
I had to stop watching a lot of the network stuff. It just I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. So get her back in the role that people, would like to see her in, give all these people a chance on your platform. But I think maybe you just got to be patient. Sometimes things take a little while to come back around.
Well, Fantastic Four is going to be first. That's going to be a couple years. 2 years from now? X-Men's going to be 3 or 4, maybe not even till after the next Avengers movie. So yeah, there's plenty of time to squeeze new things in, and they're going to need more shows, more series. And honestly, if you want to transition Chloe from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, reboot her, whether it's connected to the old or not. With Loki, they're talking all the time variants, and you're like, great, alternate timelines, and you can fix it in post in Secret Wars or something.
And again, that Secret Wars would be a perfect place to bring Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back into the continuity.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, where have you guys been? Oh, I don't know, just saving the universe the last 3 seasons. What have you guys been doing? Oh, you dealt with the snap. Okay.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped graviton
time travel bits ourselves.
Hey,
I wanted to jump in because
we just got such a big chip on our shoulder over this.
I wanted to actually jump in for the conversation you had when I kind of jumped in about first comic books.
Yeah.
Because my first comic book was actually a compendium. It was my brother's, and I've sort of adopted it at that point. Was the classic Bring On the Bad Guys, Origins of Marvel Villains. So we had Absorbing Man. We had Dr. Doom's origin, which is one that I reread over and over because, of course, in that they send Fantastic Four back in time and Thing becomes Blackbeard. And I mean, there's this whole, just talk about crazy Kirby's type art type stuff. It was a beautiful little sort of selection. It was one that I just ended up rereading over and over and over again. And I think it cemented an appreciation of villainy and also the difference, because it had, Norman Osborn's reveal as the Green Goblin. So you could see how they've sort of crafted different stories and which ones were more appealing and less appealing, and which was like, oh, it was a lab accident. Less exciting versus like, oh, we knew each other then, and then I went off and had my own whole sequence of adventures, and then I came back, and then I had this thing, and only now because you've crushed me, am I coming back for my revenge? You're like, all right, somebody spent some time developing that whole one. That's a lot more interesting. So it was kind of a fun intro with comic books, and one that really gave me, I think, an appreciation of not only making the bad guy, but how important they were offsetting the hero.
Yeah.
And that really became the thing. The hero was only good because you had a good villain, and the good villain was only good because you had a hero that was interesting to watch. And, it just, they fed really well off of each other.
Yeah. I didn't appreciate all that stuff as much when I was younger. It was all about art first. It was always about the eye-catching thing, and then I liked what the art was showing me, and the story was always secondary. And then I became more, not too long after that, really, I got really more into the writing for the rest of the time. And if your art is good, I know it's not popular opinion. In fact, like I talked when I met Chris Claremont, he was adamant that it was the art first. And I was like, who are you going to argue? I'm not going to argue with Chris Claremont over what's more important, because I was proud of myself, though. I was adamantly proud of myself. I was like, I just love your writing so much, and I just wanted you to know that, like, I really appreciate it more. And he just kind of like, yeah, well, the art's better. And I'm like, okay, yes, whatever you say, you're the master. I just was like, woo.
I think the art has a bigger impact. I mean, comic, it's a visual medium. You know, you read the dialogue or the little links from story to story, or constantly confused by Stan Lee going, "Remember in mysterious number 14." Like, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go find
a lot of
another
the
comic.
writing in it, I look at like some of those older, really old stuff. It's of its time, and even the '90s stuff. I'll reread X-Men and like the after Claremont stuff, and I'll go. I think the art's probably a little bit better than the story. But now in the last like 10, 15, 20 years, the writing they've got so many great writers coming out of the woodwork that are creating these really great stories that I'm all about character and story. I always talk about that. I love all my posters. I'm drawn to the art as well. But if you can't grab me with your story and your characters and stuff, I just can't do it. Like this new like Chip Zdarsky book, the Spider-Man Spider Shadow, right? It's about what if Peter Parker kept the Venom suit. And they've done that before. Like I think there was a what if a long time ago about that. And I read this, and the art's okay, but the story's so good that I don't really. I'm reading the bubbles and then looking at what's happening, and going, oh, like, oh, that's pretty cool, or it's not. It's like it just unless the art is too much of a distraction, one way or the other. I always go with the writing, even though I do love artists as well. It's I don't know. I ride a line, and it's people have differing opinions on that. I'm going to stick to my guns on the writing part now. It's symbiotic, but
I think you change over time too, because I think it's the visuals that grab you initially. Certainly as a kid, when you're talking about being younger, it's the visual, the colors and the costumes and the things and the guys are shooting the stuff. I think it's only later where the story starts to sink in, and when you realize that, look, the Flash grabs you for a moment, but the story drags you through. Which I think hits on your point. The art may not be great, but if the story's good, I'll still go through it. Whereas if the art's too crazy, it might distract me from the story, and then I'm like either just looking at the pictures or going, okay, I don't know what's going on here.
Paul's saying waiting on the X-Men in the Marvelverse. Yeah, I feel like there's this part of me that feels really lucky. I remember going to see the very first X-Men. Just all the hype surrounding that. Like I left that theater like on a high that I'd never felt before in my life. Like I loved Star Wars. Star Wars was the only thing really comparable to that, except for maybe Batman '89. That it felt like we were in an all new ball game. Then we got the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. But then as the X-Men went along and it got real spotty and characters started to feel real, other than Wolverine, who shouldn't have just been this, like you got Hugh Jackman, he's great, but it shouldn't have just been the Wolverine show, which in the end is what it really was.
Yeah, it just leaned into they like him.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to the X-Men and calling it the real X-Men. Like I feel like we're good. That's what's going to happen is we're going to say that was great for its time for a little while, and it did some interesting things. And not to take away from anybody who made the movies and technically were made them well, and the actors that are in it. But I think when we're going to look at this is the good X-Men, and this is the sometimes all right X-Men. It broke the ground. But I'm the longer that they push this off, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to be 46 this year. Next month, at the end of next month, and I'm like, am I gonna be 50 before we get new X-Men? And I will. That blows my fucking mind that I've waited. That I'll have technically, yes, I had a bunch of years with the X-Men movies, but I'm gonna be like 50 years old before I get the real X-Men. I'm like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be somebody who's been waiting around even longer for other things, whatever it is, whether it's like the Cubs winning the World Series or just waiting for that thing that you love to finally be translatable or profitable enough to make into something. Because, people are it's not just like X-Men and other things. Like there were people waiting forever for things like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a property that had to wait a long time. Like the original people who were reading Superman way back in the 40s, and you had to wait till 1970 something for Christopher Reeve and Richard Donner.
1978.
Yeah, I mean, so there were people long before me waiting to see their heroes pop up on the screen properly. Because, I mean, yeah, there was Superman, like the George Reeves Superman, and there was the black and white Batman, and there was Adam West Batman, and there were interpretations, but really seeing it. The proper Superman, right, which was Richard Donner's 78. Like, they had to wait that long. So I should get off my complaining.
I got to see Burton's 89 Batman opening night in Westwood, one of the singular giant theaters. You know, of course, back in the day when you had to wait in line to buy your ticket and run in and try and grab a seat. Packed house, and the energy the whole time. And the one moment that is just quintessentially remember is at the end when the Batwing is flying through and it does that swoop up to right in front of the moon. It's like the whole audience is silent and it just fulls up and gives you that bat seat, and everybody goes nuts. And it's that feeling. It's like, finally we're seeing it. And we get to do it. But here, we'll tear you up. You can imagine now the opening of the Marvel, and it's yellow and blue Marvel. It's going into the X-Men color. You're like, when that happens, you won't even need to see the credits. You're going to be like, ah. And I mean, I don't know. I guess they know how to draw the nerd out of us and get us all very excited. But I think they've earned it from the quality of work that they've done.
Yeah. I would love it if just two things. Does anybody ever skip the Marvel logo at the beginning of anything? I never skip past the dun, 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 dun. I watch the whole thing every time. That's how important it is to me.
Well, and they play with it too, you know. I mean, the moment when we got the whole Stan Lee opening intro, you know, and for Black Panther and everything, where they'll switch stuff, and you're suddenly like, oh, you've given us a little extra treat in the beginning. To me, it was the same thing like Game of Thrones. Never skipped the opening credits on that. Always watched it. The Marvel logo, same thing. Always have to watch it.
I think when they do. And going to the second part is the first time there's a proper X-Men movie, however they do it, when it's a team movie called X-Men, they gotta, instead of the dun 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 dun, dun, they gotta play the 90s theme song. Yep, they have to at some point, even if it's on a ringtone in the movie, maybe somewhere somebody gets a phone call. Hang on. What, Kitty? I can't get there right now. Colossus is trying to save Nightcrawler from getting, I don't care how they do it. They got to work it in somehow, even if it's a joke.
But I don't know. I think Disney, I'll just say Marvel especially. I mean, Disney's kind of its own thing. Marvel, Feige, I think they have, again, they've realized the secret. It's like you're saying with the real X-Men coming up. The comics, even the great comics, a lot of them are kind of cheesy and simplistic. And what Marvel's done now is they've taken that source and put it through the shiny, recraft machine and pulled out something amazing using these elements. And I think kind of like the original X-Men movies, that was that transition. You did the comics. Can we put that on the big screen? What does the audience want? And now Marvel can look back and go, okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. We're never telling the Dark Phoenix saga again. They'll never. It's going to be like 40 years before that's ever told again.
It'll come back, but we'll be really old. I'll be getting, I'll probably not be in a wheelchair, but I'll probably be with a cane that I walk fast with. because I just don't see me like I'm going to be that 90-year-old that walks really fast with a cane. I only need it to lean, and I'm going to be that, like we'll finally see the Dark Phoenix saga done right, but.
And you can imagine what the second film would it be, the second or third film that opens up from the Shi'ar Empire in space, and then suddenly supernova.
Yeah,
the whole planet, that whole imagine that as the opening thing for like the third in the arc, because you would have to do that. You've got to have the whole. It's not the Brotherhood. It's what's his name? Now I'm forgetting it. Who's the group? The chess group that.
The Hellfire Club.
Yes, the Hellfire Club. You got to do the whole Hellfire Club bit because that's an important kind of twist for Gene.
Yeah.
And then you've got, the Cell after that, and then you've got the Fall and Rebirth. I mean, you should.
You have to see Gene as the positive version of Phoenix, and then you have to see the Descent, and then you have to see the Foan explosion. That's 3 movies right there, even though I don't think that they should do it like that. I think everything should be gradual characterization. Like I think Jean Grey should be Phoenix over the course of a while. But that's like, first, what they need to do is just tell the stories in a way that doesn't feel like they got to rush everything. But the thing is even as I'm saying it, I'm like, they're still probably never going to do it like that. They're still probably never going to want to take their time. They're going to want to jump into things, and that's why I'm like, you've got so much X-Men lore that you need to don't worry about getting to those things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to them later, even if you have to recast down the line. Still keep.
And you got to figure, man, they've got to be starting to plan out movies effectively 10, 20 years out. When you cast someone, they've got to think a good 15-year lifespan for this character and this actor, at least. Depending on how they do it and who it is.
Well, they should. They still have always cast the X-Men as adults. If they want to go do the original team, they need to be like in high school. And cast people that are like literally like Tom Holland. You need to find some Tom Hollands, like people, and at least do Beast, Angel, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman. Start it with that. But I still don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to want to make an amalgamation of a bunch of different people, just joining up, just like the original X-Men did, where it was like, because this is for vanilla audiences who will never pick up a comic book. So they're going to want to see recognizable X-Men that they know.
Sure.
Even if it's not Wolverine, let's say they leave Wolverine out, they're going to still want somebody like Colossus or Nightcrawler.
Well, and I love Colossus, and I kind of missed him in the opening bit. So, I mean, I get that, and I like how Deadpool's used him.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a great twist. So but yeah, I hear what you mean. Like, so part of me is like, yeah, let's see the old original grouping, but it's also like, yeah, but I gotta say, my X-Men was that second group with Storm and Colossus and Nightcrawler and Wolverine and
Rogue and
but Wolverine is one that you should just stay away from. Cast him and call him something else for a movie or two, and then you realize he's Wolverine. I don't know, and make sure he's short. Make him a short, angry. Just you look at him and you're like, this is a Wolverine. This is the Honey Badger. Honey Badger don't give a shit.
Yeah. Paul's asking if now that theaters are open, is HBO Max and Disney going to still stream movies? I would say that, well, HBO's still got the rest of this year. I think it's all going to be like kind of a chess game and seeing who's going to bend first, who's going to say, I'm only doing theaters from here on out. Disney can probably afford to do it. I don't know about HBO. If they want to stay relevant as a streaming service. I think that you need more than just their original programming, and they always make original movies and they always make original series, but They're still kind of elite television. HBO still feels like elite television. Disney feels more not relatable, but like attainable. Like it's just you just get Disney. People don't just buy HBO. It never, like in my whole life, I just never felt like anybody just, I don't know. I'm coming at it from a weird perspective, I guess, but it was always like HBO was like expensive. You had to pay extra for HBO. Now it's you got to pay for everything. And I just feel like HBO, well, first off, their movies haven't been that great that have been coming out. Warner Brothers has not been making a lot of really good movies. And they were relying on stuff like Mortal Kombat and King Kong versus Godzilla, both mediocre at best. At best. And then you got, critical stuff that should have been good, like The Little Things. Mediocre at best. I did not like that movie. Then you got that movie with Angelina Jolie that, is written by Tyler Sheridan that should have been fantastic. And
like half good.
There's a really good movie in there, except it's like there's two movies in that movie. And if they split them up, if they gave John Bernthal one movie and they gave Angelina Jolie another movie, that would have been a great movie. Like split the universe, split the story up, because that movie didn't know what it was doing. But that's just an example. We've got The Matrix, and we keep saying, well, there's all these other things that are coming. Like we got Suicide Squad. Of course, Suicide Squad's going to do good. It's James Gunn. It's a no-brainer. Even if it's not that great, brilliant of a movie, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to bring asses to the television and the theaters. But like, I don't know if the Matrix 2 and 3. And it's been this long.
HBO, I think, is going to be having issues probably for a good another year until it drifts over to Discovery, because AT&T didn't know what to do with it. The head of HBO left as soon as AT&T went in, and he was the big creative pusher behind everything. I think most of their series, they've had a couple of decent ones, but I think the series qualities have gone down, even on their primo stuff. And you're right, Disney knows its crowd. Disney is 4-quadrant. We do family. We do variations on that. It's had its formula for years, and it's perfected it, and they've worked it. HBO doesn't know what it's want to be.
It's for adults. It's for adults. You can put all the cartoons on you want, but and the quality might have gone down, but a lot of the subject matter on HBO is for adults.
Sure.
Or adult thinking, or smart thinking, or like more with the way that they are representing the LGBTQ communities and things like progressive thought and stuff. It's not somewhere that, John Q. Hillbilly is going to go to and go, oh yeah, man, I want to watch Hacks. I want to watch that Hack show about the millennial, and the millennial and the old comedian getting along together. Yeah. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. But everybody, whether they're whatever economic status you have or whatever color you have, everybody can go to Disney and go Marvel, Star Wars, Disney. It transcends everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've got it down. So until they get, I think, a better leadership at top, I think HBO is going to be kind of floundering. And yeah, even the announcement to put everything on streaming fractured all their relationships with a lot of their directors. I mean, and I was looking forward to Dune.
Oh my God, I am too.
I mean, they've got a lot of stuff that I can't wait for. But you can't screw over the creators that are contributing to your studio, because then nobody's going to want to work for you. And then all you got is like CW stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we don't need a CW streaming network.
Isn't there? Is it still a thing?
They have an app. They
still have the app. Yeah, and the fact that like all that stuff is on HBO, thinking that that's driving people towards it. But I mean, teenagers don't have. Let's just face it. Teenagers aren't going to spend the money. Your average teenager, with whatever they make, and how much they spend on their phones. I'm not being a dick. I'm just being honest. they prioritize this probably over, oh my God, I got to figure out a way to watch the new Batwoman episode. No, they're going to spend their money somewhere else.
Right.
They're not going to go to HBO for it. It's that I don't know who they're bringing in with that, because I'm not watching it and I'm big into comic books.
If they can get their parents' password, then they might jump onto it. And again, I'm not saying this is sort of a judgment thing. I'm just saying look, I have minimal amounts. Is my passwords being shared with maybe some adult children? Of course it is, because they can't afford to pay it for themselves, but they can't afford cable either, and they may want to watch something, so what the hell?
Adam Weiss joins us in the chat there. Hey, bud, congrats. Thank you very much, Adam. Thanks for popping in. Paul's talking about wanting to see the Batman, but not in theaters. I've talked about this before, and I just don't want to see the Batman. I just don't want to see it. I have no interest in it at all. I'm kind of tired of seeing Batman. I have a vision in my head of what I want for Batman, and they have just been failing. They have been failing since, and here's going to be a real controversial thing. Batman Begins, the more and the older that I get, I'm separating further and further. I think that Nolan's best one was Batman Begins.
Oh yeah.
Dark Knight. If you don't have Heath Ledger, that movie is not good. That not very good. Aaron Eckhart's pretty good. Gary Oldman's good. But that movie, the more I watch it, and especially the longer, it's not Batman to me. Especially Dark Knight Rises is not Batman to me. So many, I prefer the cartoons almost that DC's been putting out for Batman stuff. But I have no interest in Robert Pattinson as Batman, and I like Robert Pattinson, the actor. I do. I never saw Twilight, but I've liked some of his other stuff. But I don't need whatever they're showing me for Batman. I didn't like Batfleck. I'm sorry. I don't. Ben Affleck's a good director, but I've never really loved him as an actor. And he looked good in the suit, but he was also, I couldn't get past the star power of it. It was Ben Affleck as Batman, not Batman, and it happened to be played by Ben Affleck. I see the star and not the character. And since I've never been a very giant fan of Ben Affleck movies, I like Good Will Hunting, but not because of him. You know what I mean? I've enjoyed. I tried to literally think about what I liked about Ben Affleck movies, and I'm going, I don't think I do. Didn't like Daredevil. Did not like Armageddon. Didn't like all the other pieces of crap that they were throwing him in. I thought he was all right in Kevin Smith movies, but that's because he was usually the brunt of people's jokes.
Right.
He was great in Chasing Amy because he was a douchebag, and he plays douchebags well. He plays handsome douchebags that are supposed to be charming and likable, and I don't fall for his gimmick ever.
This is an unsuccessful Bruce Wayne.
I didn't think he was the worst Batman, but I just didn't care, and those movies weren't very good anyway, and and so when it comes all the way down to what is this, Matt Reeves? Is that who's directing the Batman?
Yeah.
The Batman. Again, a stupid title. It's
Warner Brothers, man.
And the thing is I won't go see it at the theater, but I'll watch it eventually, and I'll save my judgment till then. But anyway, we are at an hour and a half, and I promised everybody karaoke. And I'm glad that Darren is here for this.
Oh, look at the time.
I'm glad Darren is not for you to sing, but just so that you can appreciate this. So I did set this really stupid thing up. This could end up getting the video blocked for later viewing, but I will do some clever editing later to remove this part out if it gets the stream blocked. I'm going to do something that I was going to do a long time ago. I sent out a tweet saying I'm about to do something really crazy on my channel, and I didn't do it. Something, I don't know what happened. There's a lot happening in 2020. So I got sidetracked from doing it. I hope I can pull this off because I'm doing it especially because I think Dee will really appreciate the odd reference that I'm doing and the enjoyment that I think people will have in watching me be silly here. So I got to make sure that my TV is muted. Is it muted? Now it's muted. All right. So we got to go to my history. You can probably already see what that is in the background. So bear with me as I try to pull this off. I don't know if you get what the references in the background, Dee, but standing there alone, the ship is waiting, all systems are go. Are you sure? Control is not convinced, but the computer has the evidence. No need to abort. The countdown starts. Watching in a trance, the crew is certain, nothing left to chance. All is working, trying to relax. Up in the capsule, send me up a drink. Jokes, Major Tom. The count goes on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling home. Second stage is cut. We're now in orbit. Stablers are up. Running perfect. Starting to collect requested data. What will it affect when all is done? Thinks Major Tom. Back at ground control. There is a problem. Go to rockets full. Not responding. Hello, Major Tom. Are you receiving? Turn the thrusters on. We're standing by. There's no reply. 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us. Drifting, falling, floating, weightless. Calling, calling home. Across the stratosphere, a final message. Give my wife my love, then nothing more. Far beneath the ship, the world is mourning. They don't realize he's alive. No one understands, but Major Tom sees. Now the light commands. This is my home. I'm coming home. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, coming home. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, coming, coming home. I can't now. I'm broken. That's it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm dying. I can't. That last bit, man, just broke me. I was about to start laughing. I was about to start laughing too hard. But I've been wanting to do that forever because I have always loved Gail Bedecker on Breaking Bad. And it's revealed to Walter White that Hank has this tape, and he shows Walter this guy, this nerd, and his face in the moment of realizing that Hank has the evidence of Gail Bedecker in front of him, and it's just the way it's presented in the most original Breaking Bad way of him singing karaoke. I've always said to myself, I am singing that song. Wow, Gail Bedecker is in the background of my channel at some point in my life, and I've finally done it. Bucket list, check mark. Check. And I'm so glad you were here because of being a big Breaking Bad fan. I thought you would appreciate that quite a bit.
I am honored that I got a chance to be here for that. I gotta go now though, so I got like actually I do need to get going, but I did want I am glad that I stayed long enough in order to catch all of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably freaked my dad out upstairs. He's watching Ozark season 1, and all of a sudden he's hearing Major Tom coming from the basement. You know, like
I don't know. Oddly, that seems like it would match though.
Maybe. So at some point he's gonna be like, "Were you singing down there?" Yes, I was.
There's a weird part of the episode where Major Tom started playing in the background. It was weird.
I turned the volume up on the TV real loud, and there was somebody singing. I don't know who it was.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, that's
congratulations, Rob. That's awesome. I know you have worked very long and hard and busted your butt to do it, and I know the people that subscribe to your channel appreciate you and how much you give and how much you show that appreciation. It's really a two-way street on this channel, and I'm glad I could play any part in helping you get to this point. So congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Don. He's got We'll talk, Don. Don is somebody I know outside of YouTube. Hey, Don, whether you liked it or not, I put myself out there, right? That's what you always say, is to get out of my own way. Get out of my own way, get out of my own head, and just do what you want to do and do what you feel is right. And so that's what I did, and I have no regrets. No regrets at all. I love it. I've always wanted to do that, and I did it. So thank you so much, D. I can't wait to get back on your channel to talk about Loki.
Let's do it next week.
I'll be in the comments section at the very least.
Excellent. Speaking of, I do have a slot open next week. If you want to come, if you're open for that,
I'm there.
Sweet. Cool. Because especially after this week's episode, it's going to get some serious craziness, I'm assuming, by next week. So really excited about that. So
okay.
Adieu, my friend.
Bye.
Catch you later on. And everyone else, thank you for subscribing to this man's channel.
And subscribe to Darren's channel. Subscribe to D's reviews. Okay. I should, like he always tells us to represent ourselves, and here I am forgetting all about that. Go to Darren's channel, D's Reviews, where we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, Loki, Mandalorian, all sorts of fun stuff. And it's continuing for the foreseeable future. And he deserves as much love as I get, if not more, because again, he's helped get me to this point. So thank you, man.
Thank you, sir, man. Take it easy. Congrats. And I will see y'all later.
Okay, so everybody kind of popped in at the end, not the end, but at a very interesting time. So Chatterbox Reviews. Also, check out Chatterbox's Reviews channel. He's been plugging away. I know you had some difficulty in 2020, but now you're back. Check out his stuff. He covers shows like Succession that I really like, his in-depth look at TV shows and movies. It'll be an interesting Friday. I hope that means just about this and not about anything that happened at our place of business. But yeah, Chatterbox, thanks for stopping in. Crow, Red Eye. Everybody came in after I sang. Everybody's coming in well, not everyone, but like you guys should have been here like 5 minutes ago. I think everybody missed my singing. Well, I don't know if the word missed is is the right word. Maybe you guys were just hiding in the background. I don't know. But welcome anyway. Again, this is an AMA. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going on this. Probably for at least another 20 minutes. And then at around 10 o'clock, we'll call it a day. But hopefully it does not get blocked. I was using the karaoke version of the music. And it was my singing. So I'm hoping that my singing maybe blocks out the copyright. Oh, I'm not doing it again, Paul. I can already feel it in my voice. That last bit just about took it out of me. But what I'm going to do, no matter what, is after this is over, if it gets blocked, I'm going to go in and do some clever editing. I'm going to download this whole thing, do some clever editing and remove the song part out, and then put it in a separate video that people can watch. Crow, you said you heard me just as I got here. So you heard the last crescendo. I actually was thinking about it doing 2 songs, but now that I've done one, I'm like, I'll save it for another. When I get to 3,000, I'll save another song for that, and then it's something to look forward to. So tell your friends to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear me do karaoke. Although I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't do some karaoke just on my own. Maybe in other videos, who knows? All right, so again, I don't even know how to get past all that with D and Geno and everything else coming on here. Things coming up on the channel, though we are going to be reviewing this new show that's on Prime, at least the first episode, if it's any good. It's oh wow, I'm already forgetting what it's called. I had everybody watch the trailer for it too. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Downton Abbey, but something about the journey to, it doesn't sound like something that people would expect me to review, but let's see. Try to find what it is called, if you guys remember. On July 30th, yeah, what's that show's name though? Wow, how long ago did I post this? Anyway, it's with Lily James, something like the Journey to Love or something like that. It's got a really terrible title, but it's got a really interesting premise. We've also going to be still doing our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've got Doctor Who. We've got The Leftovers. More stuff coming as HBO releases stuff. We're going to probably, I'm looking into the Mosquito Coast on Apple TV. I might be doing a 2-season review of, probably doing a 2-season review of Mythic Quest. There's some really interesting stuff happening on Apple TV that I want to check out. The Pursuit to Love, that's what it's called. What else is coming out? Succession, like I said, on Chatterbox's channel, about he covers that. We might be covering Succession. It depends on if I have enough to say about it. Am I going to review Black Widow? I am going to review Black Widow. I am going to go see it in the theater because I'm not paying $30 for something when I'm just me. I think that it makes sense for families to pay $30 at home rather than drag all your family out to the theater. But I'm a big nerd as well. And since $7 is probably going to be what I pay for it or something along those lines, $10, I'm willing to sit through it, even if I'm starting to get, I was already leery of that movie because I just kind of feel like they should have made it. Everybody knows this. I'm not saying anything new, but they should have made that movie like 5 years ago when it was more relevant, when the character was alive. Spoilers for Endgame. I have checked out Made for Love, Chatterbox. I reviewed the first episode. I'm going to go back and finish watching it and then probably do a season review of that show. It's just been hard to fit in, I should say, stuff that's out. because like a lot of people, like I think you understand this, Chatterbox. 2020 was rough, and trying to get back into a flow, trying to get back into what I was doing. Also, with the internet outage I had, it was hard to finish some of the projects that I was planning on working on. And so we're just kind of all adjusting and trying to roll with everything that comes out and figuring out how to proceed. So I'm trying to get like going, and I'm like trying not to put too much pressure on myself. So like Doctor Who and the Leftovers, they're probably going to only be like once every couple of weeks that I post those. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm going to try to keep going at like once a week. But we're in this kind of weird, I'm in this kind of weird mode where I spent so much of 2020 on Twitch, playing games with a lot of my crew here, that are my crew. The group, my group of really loyal subscribers, that include a few of the people that are in this room. We've been doing a lot of watch parties. We've been playing a lot on Twitch, and it kind of like, after now that everything is opening up in the world, and there's more opportunities for everybody to either get back to work or just go enjoy yourselves out in the world, it's kind of harder to wrangle all of us together at times. Which again, I almost brought it up and I kind of got sidetracked, is the PS5. Again, this is because, again, the things that I owe the people on this that are part of this community, if it wasn't for Rena and her son putting in all this extra effort to help me acquire a PlayStation 5, because of what everybody knows is the people still can't get them. If it wasn't for their extra effort, I wouldn't have the PS5 to play with and play on Twitch and play all these new games. So again, Rena, thank you so much. Again, I always want to keep wanting to say thank your son even more. Every time I would, it's just, you guys honor me. All of you honor me. I'm humbled by every single one of you. And even those with channels like Chatterbox and Geno and D and Don Willie, even, he would have been here, but his internet is actually out as well. And other people like Corey Shoemaker, other channels like Always Watching, a newer channel that I found that I try to promote. There's so many small channels, and the more that we stick together, the more that we help promote each other's work. I know that for Chatterbox and we were supposed to work on something for Better Call Saul last year, and I feel like I really dropped the ball on that, but COVID happened and a lot of shit went down, and I feel bad. And hopefully when Better Call Saul comes back, Chatterbox and I can work on something together for the final season of Better Call Saul. I would really like that. I'm trying to think of other small channels out there, because there's a lot of people that, I still subscribe to that still don't get, hardly any attention. And, if you're anybody who watches this in the archives and you are a small channel and you want to be, brought up, you want to be part of the conversation, leave me a message. Tell me about your channel. Tell me what to go look at, and we'll promote your channel on here. Because again, the people that make money on YouTube are already making money on YouTube. The people who want to play the algorithm game and just do pander to the lowest common denominator, they make money. The people with passion that are just getting into YouTube over the last few years, it's a lot harder to do. And and another thing about making money on YouTube is making so many concessions. People, they play the algorithm game, and I don't play the algorithm game. I have monetized my channel, but I have never been paid. And I am not going to let YouTube or what anybody else does on YouTube make me do things that I don't want to do. Or I'm not going to start making things that I don't want to make to satisfy like some sort of urge to make money on YouTube. If I happen to be talking about something that ends up getting views and likes and subscribes, great. If not, that's okay. I'm still talking about something passionate, and I'm doing it the way I want to do it. That's the one thing I would always say to anybody who wants to get anywhere on here is always do your channel the way you want. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to talk like anybody else. You talk like yourself. This is me. I'm weird. I say weird stuff. I don't filter myself. And that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. And that's fine. I look at the traffic and it'll say, when I shouldn't say accidentally, but occasionally when I'll look at the algorithm and it'll say how many people have come to your channel that aren't subscribers. Some people get obsessed with looking at those numbers. I know several. I'm not going to call them out because it's not, I don't think that'd be cool to point out who I know obsessed over numbers. But if you're obsessed with the algorithm, if you're obsessed with the numbers, and you worry more about that stuff than being passionate and just getting your truth out there, you are not going to have a good time on any platform. Doesn't matter where you go. If you're spending your time chasing things that aren't as important, if you're doing things because you feel like you have to do them, then you're just not, how can you be enjoying yourself? This should be a place to have fun and think and talk. And as long as you do that, it doesn't matter. And if you can become a greater part of the community or build a community that you have of people that want to come see you and talk to you and hang out or, wherever, some of the best times we have on this channel is at a watch party. So anybody who wants to be a part of those watch parties where we get together, we watch riff tracks, we watch MST3Ks, we watch regular movies, we watch Netflix, Prime, all that stuff. We chat, we get on the Discord, we talk about stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Tell me you want an invite to the Discord, and we will start sending you invites to watch parties if you want to be a part and watch movies with us. We have a great time doing that. Some of those best moments are just us watching a movie, bullshitting and laughing and making fun of it or enjoying the hell out of it. It doesn't matter because we're all part of a community and we all are in different parts of the country, other different parts of the world. And it's a way to feel connected in a time where things are just crazy. And, and sometimes I need to be tethered down by the people that I talk to here, because out in the real world, I have a much harder time interacting with people because my anxieties kick into high gear and I'm around a bunch of people that don't, see the world as how I see it. And I'm not comfortable with as many people out there. I live in Trumpsville, USA in Illinois, man. And it's hard finding anyone that is on any kind of the same wavelength as I am. And when you feel like that, you can feel really alone. And that's what these are the positive things about social media, because social media can be I don't have to tell anybody that's a pretty toxic place. But when you find some place as special as what I have right here, and it's one of the most special things in my entire life, I welcome anybody wanting to join this. And all you do is add to how special it is. And again, you come to this channel, you're going to be heard. Even if even on some of the worst comments, or, I shouldn't say worst, but even on comments that I don't agree with, I'll usually give a thumbs up and a like as long as it's not something hateful. And that's at the least. At the most, we'll get into a dialogue and people just come by all the time. And it's cultivating that. It's making sure that everybody knows that they're welcome here, as long as they're, try to be nice to each other. And if more, and I don't toot my own horn very often. Everybody knows this. I get down on myself a lot. But one thing I can say about what we're doing here on this channel is we are cultivating a community of togetherness, of friendship, of tolerance, except for the intolerance of intolerant people. And I could not have gotten here without any of you that subscribe to this channel. And I was going to read off everybody's name. I was. And then I looked at how long that list was. Because a lot changed since we did the 1,000 subscriber live stream in 2019 of December. December 2019. A lot has changed in a year and a half. Those numbers got huge. A lot more names on there, and I need to prepare better for the next time I do this so I can read off everybody's names. Otherwise, I'd have spent a half an hour reading everybody's names. And every single one of you that chooses to subscribe here, you guys, it just means the world. Because, you know, it says that you, for one brief moment, whatever video you watched, you said, hey, I like what that guy's saying. And that means the world. And, you know, and when you can reach people like that in this world, where as much as social media is supposed to help us, it disconnects us too. And I feel like I'm doing the right thing when I get new subscribers and start connecting more with everybody. So anyway, that was my last little spiel. I'll look at the comments here. Chatterbox saying, how am I feeling about The Walking Dead these days? Well, I did review like most of the B, you know, season 10B. I liked it more than other people. I thought the Negan episode was a little bit of a, even though the actors, both him and his wife, were really good in it, I felt like it was not as true to the character as it should have been. It was there, and then they made him a little too soft. They made him a little too likable. But I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead's final season, for sure, because I need to be there at the end. I want them to finally get these Rick movies out, you know. I'm kind of tired. They've given, I thought it was only supposed to be like a year off for Andrew Lincoln, and then COVID again happened. But, you know, if they can knock out a season of TV, right? If they can make 6 B stories for Walking Dead, they can knock out a 2-hour Walking Dead Rick movie, right? I mean, yeah, I know that it would probably be a lot more ambitious than your average 2, 3, 4 episode arc. You probably have a lot more people involved, literally, in the, you know, cast, not just zombies. But I got excited for when they finally said that it was actually going to be over, and I went, okay, now that I know that it's over, I'm coming back. Now I won't ever review Fear the Walking Dead, because as much as I like some of the characters and a lot of the actors on that show, don't get me wrong, I don't like Fear the Walking Dead, but it has got some fucking excellent talent on that show. Like, if it was just, to me, if it was just a better show, the cast on that show is amazing. And I just feel like it's like the throw everything at the wall and see what sticks version, you know, side of The Walking Dead. And I will not watch any more of the World Beyond or whatever it is, The Walking Dead show. Forget that. I tried watching it, and it made me, I wanted to throw up in my mouth a little bit move, because it just was so terribly written. But that's the thing I think that's going to make or break the final season of Walking Dead, is it has to be written well. We need a return to form to some of these characters. I feel like Carol and Daryl are running on empty at this point, and they're supposed to be in a spin-off show. Too many character deaths were not given. I remember the girl who plays Rosita wanted her comic book death. She really, really wanted that comic book death, and they didn't give it to her. Now, she was not like some of the other actors on that show who decided they wanted out of there, and it was all, you know, like the guy who plays Jesus, Alexander Payne. He wanted out, and now he's on that Prodigal Son show, which I don't really know if that's a step up or down. I mean, you are in a show with Michael Sheen, but, you know, the Hannibal Lecter's son, you know, show is kind of, I don't know. That's how I see that show, is, what if Hannibal Lecter was your dad? And I don't mean that he's a cannibal or anything. I just mean, what if a serial killer was your dad's show? I don't know if that's a step up or down, but he wasn't getting utilized right. He wasn't. The character in the books is so much better. I don't know why they changed so many things. But I think The Walking Dead will finish strong. I think the Commonwealth gives them a lot to explore. But as much as I think that I thought that it was winding down, it feels like AMC just is still going to be the zombie channel. Which I just, it's been 10 years and 3 shows and the comic book is over. And even though they are introducing Clementine from the games into the Walking Dead universe in the comics finally, that's a step up. I mean, I would watch a Clementine Walking Dead show. She'll probably just join Fear the Walking Dead or something like that in like season 9 or whatever that's, But that's about all I have for Walking Dead. I think that we are at the 2-hour mark. Wow, we made it 2 hours. So if anybody has any other questions or any other topics, let's get them out now. And then we can wrap up what we are doing. I'll wait a minute to see if anybody has anything that they want to add. And then we will end this. So just preemptively, I want to thank everybody that has been popping in and out of here. This was, to me, a rousing success. We got Geno here. We got Darren here. We got Mando here. We got Batman here. We had Boba Fett here. We talked comics. We sang karaoke. We talked about so much stuff, and I can't believe. Oh, yeah, The Last of Us series. The Last of Us series. Well, again, I have no doubt that it's going to be really well produced. I just don't know how I feel. We'll see. We'll have to see. I want to see a trailer. I am going to continue to review comics, but it's going to be more of a picky, choosy kind of thing like Stray Dogs. I do want to go back and eventually talk about The Nice House on the Lake. A couple of people here in this room actually got to watch the video I made of that because I wanted to see how awful it was, how awful the review was. But it was really more of a technical problem I was having with the video. So I have to retool that video. But there are more books to talk about. There's stuff that I would love to just make like I still want to do like a covering a bunch of bases, but that kind of fell apart. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes because I'm not done talking comics. And Stray Dogs, the review for that on the channel was a big step in the right direction. The details of the con in the fall is that it's October 26th, I want to say. It's a Saturday. It's in Champaign, Urbana, and it's the Dark History and Horror Com, where we'll have a booth there and we'll just promote our channels, and hopefully I'll have enough horror movie stuff in there to talk about on my channel. Any more X comics? Oh, sure. I mean, I could talk about X comics. I mean, here's the skinny. Not looking forward to the new X-Men book, even though Pepe Larraz is drawing it. Sword has been a pretty good book. Hellions is an awesome book. X-Force is still pretty solid. Wolverine is still pretty solid. Way of X, the Nightcrawler book, that's actually the Nightcrawler Legion book, is actually really, really good right now. I'm digging the fact that I believe because you guys know, like I said, I always got comics around me somewhere. Cable number 11, I do believe, is the return of Old Man Cable, something that everybody that loves the character of Cable has been waiting for a long time. October 23rd. Okay. But Marauders, Excalibur, the flagship X-Men book, which is now going to be done by Jerry Duggan. I'm not looking forward to that as much. Excalibur when you lose Rogue and they haven't really done much with Gambit, and then you lost Apocalypse off that book, which was another big draw for me off that book. X Factor, X-Core, New Mutants, great art by Rod Reese, but I am not happy. There's too many characters in that book, and I don't. It feels really unfocused. What else? And that's like putting the X books in a nutshell. But still, Hellions is so much fun. Mr. Sinister's little group with Psylocke and Havoc, and that group is a blast. Like I said, Sword by Al Ewing is pretty good. The last issue was really great. They brought in Scarlet Witch at the end. Magneto in a big part. That planet-sized X-Men was an unbelievable, like, whoa, taking it to the next level, because people were saying that the Hellfire Gala in the X books was going to be pointless. Nothing's happening. I'm not going to say what channels are acting like that, but you know who they are. All the mutants have terraformed Mars. Mars is now the property of mutants. They moved the entire, there's Krakoa and there's Arakko, and they moved the planet Arakko to Mars, terraformed it, and now Storm is like the queen of Mars. There's some batshit crazy stuff going on in the X books, and Planet-Size X-Men really did deliver. And so the Hellfire Gala, while some people might say wasn't doing anything, it really did build up. It seemed like it was building to nothing, and then Planet-Size X-Men gets dropped, and then boom, this huge moment that's going to change everything. You've got people now noticing. Dr. Doom is noticing. Captain America is a little leery of what's going on. And of course, Cap always is leery of things going on like that. But I like how they've always used Captain America as this kind of sympathizer to the mutants, because he understands. He's lived through World War II, and he saw what happened to people like the Jews, and he knows, about people getting, hated because of what they are and who they are and what religion they are, or just, on basis of not just gender, but race and creed. And so he's a perfect character to kind of have that balance in there. So, wow. Anyway, I'm starting to lose my voice, so we're going to end it here. I want to thank everybody that was here and showed up in the chat. I can't thank you all enough. I am going to be on Twitch after this, but we're going to be playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Instead of one last thing, have you ever seen the Band of Brothers series? I just finished first. You just finished it for the first time. Wow. Good, right? Band of Brothers is an amazing show. I remember when that first came out, and I wanted to buy something for my, at the time, brother-in-law for Christmas. And they were charging, the price for Band of Brothers back then was like the price of DVDs back in the early 2000s. When you wanted an HBO product, was huge. I had to spend I think I spent like 70, 80 bucks on Band of Brothers just for a Christmas present. But it's a totally, now I can watch it for free on HBO Max whenever I want, but it was quality. In fact, since that was also produced by Spielberg and Tom Hanks, who made Saving Private Ryan, I was like, man, you guys should have just skipped making Saving Private Ryan and just Band of Brothers. You don't need Saving Private Ryan. Band of Brothers is way better than Saving Private Ryan. It's Saving Private Ryan wishes it was Band of Brothers. So I hope that answers your question. But we will be on Twitch playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's going to be on my PS4 Pro in my room, so it's going to be a little more intimate. But we're going to play a little Assassin's Creed tonight before I go to bed. So again, thank you guys so much, guys and gals, for being here. I couldn't have gotten here without you. Hopefully we'll all be here for when we hit 3,000 subscribers. And if we ever hit 3,000 subscribers, whatever. But look for more weird stuff on the channel, where I'm always trying new things, always trying to be entertaining and informative and thought-provoking. And I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm going to switch your brain off and give you a different memory this time, because I don't care if you didn't like this or not. I enjoyed it, and I think most of you did too. So thanks for being a part of the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.